See that? That's more like, see, that's right before the strike. Okay, he's holding, in the previous photo, he's holding that knee, but it's not quite as much. That's him getting fully loaded, because we're talking straight up and down, knee directly over that ankle. But the bottom line is, nothing drifts this way. Nothing drifts this way. And what is just such a simple movement? Here versus here. It's such a simple movement. And again, I'm so pissed off that I'm just now finding out about this. Not so much pissed off at myself as much as I am at the kids, shortchanging the kids. Let me show let me show you guys a few drills, okay? Now obviously you just got dry swings, literally not even dry swings, just dry strides, okay? Dry strides. Something a kid can do in his bedroom, in his living room, over and over and over again. Then we start getting, let's go to, and I made up the name to most of these things because I'm just figuring this out, because I call this the ball stride. I don't know. Okay, so we go from here, this is the timing part of it. Okay, you just roll off. You just roll. So again, if I'm here and then I go there, well, you know what? I'm still not loading until I roll off into that landing. Okay, so literally here, there. All right, ball strides. Next one. I love bands, okay? And my 6 years in JUCO taught me that, you know, again, if you don't have it, build it. If you can't afford it, build it. Find different ways to do stuff. If you've got bands, you know, I don't mean these bands like bands you find in a weight room, use those. Core velocity belt. You guys got core velocity belts? I always wait for the Black Friday sale. He always does $150 off those things. I just bought 2 of them the other day. Okay, so we got core velocity belts now. You guys all know about core velocity belt? It's a great investment. Maybe not at $349 right now, but wait for Black Friday next year. Okay, but $200, oh yeah. It's like this harness, and you got a clip here, and you got a clip here, and you got a clip here. You can throw those bands anywhere depending on what you're trying to teach. Okay, you can use them. They were invented initially for pitchers, but then obviously the things you can do with hitters is just kind of morphed over the years and evolved. Okay, so we're actually going to use those more for our hitters. All right, or you just got these bands. And again, if you don't have these kind of bands in your program, you need to probably reevaluate. Okay, that's a staple. Okay, so basically what we're going to do with this is obviously wrap it around. Okay, wrap it around, whichever direction. Okay, so here it's obviously helping you stay back. It's a field thing, and you got somebody back there, and we're not taking hacks. Okay, the other way to do that is go in this direction, and what Lance Wheeler from Core Velocity Belt says a lot is feed the mistake. Feed the mistake. Okay, so you've got to make a conscious effort. You've got tension pulling you this way. Actually make a conscious effort of leaving it back here. Leaving it back here. Somebody's trying to pull you. That's called feeding the mistake. And that's not just with hitters, drills, that's pitchers. You can do the same thing. Feeding the mistake. Okay, here's my favorite thing. Any of you guys got water balls or water tubes? Oh, these are the greatest things, man. These are the greatest things. Okay, so Evan Wise, he's the one that taught me about Texas Baseball Ranch, Driveline, Florida Baseball Ranch, which is now the Armory. Okay, and the Armory was, I believe, the first time I saw the water balls and water tubes. Okay, Oats Specialties, that's the first ones that we got, the Chaos Ball. Okay, I'm always a bargain hunter. Okay, again, another Black Friday sale, Tidal Tank, TidalTank.com. I'm not being paid for this advertisement, but they were half the price, and they have a year warranty. Okay, you throw a little water in there, and obviously you don't want too much water. But if you think about this, you've got to really engage your core. This water sloshing around. This is supposed to teach you that, what's that fancy word? Proprioception, body awareness, all that kind of stuff. This helps with all this, and there's been pitchers more that have been using these things, especially at the Armory. But we have put them into our daily work with our hitters. Okay, so what we do, we can do some hop backs. Okay, so you got some weight, do some hop backs. Boom. All right, and you got a set hinge. Go ahead and set your hinge. Okay, we've got to leave it there. Got to leave it there. I don't even know if I have a name for this one, so come up with your own name. You just say water ball stuff. And understand, it could be a water ball, it could be a water tube, it could be a med ball. Okay? And speaking of med ball, another drill to do, either is to hop back into a hinge with a med ball and fire that thing into the wall. Okay? Or just stand here, get your hinge, fire that into the wall. Okay, this is a baseball specific strengthening drill. And you guys should all have access to med balls. This could be part of your lead-up stuff on a daily basis in practice. Okay, well, we're actually doing, because you know, guys hate throwing that med ball. If you give them a specific purpose, hey, we're trying to execute this hinge, we're trying to give you power, again, they're going to be a little bit more receptive to those drills. Okay, so med ball, ball strides, med ball, hip bands, set hinge, hop back, dry strides. Okay, that's 5 or 6 really quick drills to do for executing the hip hinge. All right, and again, name of my little speech here is the power of the hinge. And how many have been doing this with their hitters yet? Any of you guys? Okay, good. I'm so glad like all of y'all didn't raise your hand, because I feel like I did something today. So that's pretty cool. But I'm telling you again, 30 years into this, and I saw it. I'm not just looking for the next new thing. Trust me. I want to have confidence in the stuff I was teaching 20 years ago. So I'm not just looking for the next cool thing that's going to make guys get interested. I'm trying to make my players better. Bottom line, I got over myself many years ago. This is about developing players, which obviously leads to hopefully wins. And that's hopefully the goal. I'm going to talk, and how many minutes I got left? Oh, really? Okay. All right, so I'm a big believer that when you're working on a new movement, work on that one movement only, or at least focus on that. Say, kid, you're working on a hip hinge, and you're flipping a front toss or what have you, and it's like, Coach, I can't. I'm thinking about swinging this way, and I'm thinking about my hinge, and I'm thinking about, stop. If it's the hinge you're working on, concentrate on the hinge. Don't worry about hitting the ball perfectly. Well, Coach, I'm not squaring the ball up perfectly. I'm not putting backspin on the ball. Stop. If you're working on the hinge, work on that one movement. Try to perfect that one movement. Because guys, think about this. If it's the base of a house, it's the foundation of a house. We've all heard we got to have a strong foundation, right? Until we get to this point right here, until we perfect that, the rest doesn't matter. I could have a great swing that I'm executing from right here, and it's not going to go so well. I'm not going to have any power. Maybe I'm getting, bloop singles, which is pretty much all I did in college, is duck farts to right field. Okay, you got me in the Hall of Fame at Tennessee Western somehow. I have no idea. Okay, but you hit enough of the duck farts, and they add up. All right, but I played at a college where you can piss over the left center field fence because it's built on a hill when it comes in. I hit 5 homers. All right, 5 homers. Okay, you want to talk about being pissed off. Okay, but literally, I was just going, hit it there. Okay? But we're in a different era now. We're in a different era. So just focus on that one thing. Just focus on that one thing. Okay, I got a little time for swing stuff, and I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. Let me start by saying launch angle is not a swing. Okay? Launch angle is not a swing. It's a measurement of the ball coming off the bat. You could have a negative launch angle. You could have a positive launch angle. Us old farts back in the day, guess what we called positive launch angle? Backspin. Backspin. That's all it is, guys. Talking about social media, about 7-8 years ago when you saw all that crap about swinging up, holy mackerel, you got 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, like their career is over at 10 because they're swinging up. They're swinging up and hitting pop-ups to the shortstop. Now, granted, Aaron Judge walks into my office. I tell the story all the time. He walks into my office at 6'7", 280 pounds. He said, Coach Flea, I want to swing up. And I say, yes, sir. Go ahead, swing up, big boy. That's it. That's it. Don't swing up. The cool thing about the social media battles, the hitting gurus, especially when that whole swing, I'm so glad that's died down, the swing up thing, because it really has, especially in the big leagues, because they got sick of striking out 200 times a season. You don't see an argument about flat. You see an argument of up versus down. And let me tell you something. This is a down swing. If you teach that, quit. quit. Okay? If you teach this, quit. Here's the thing that can't be argued. Flat. Level. Just flat. The name of the game, line drive. When I hear a guy like Alex Bregman, cool videos out, he literally in his living room, in his socks, like basically like I do almost every night, and he's swinging a bat. This is Alex Bregman. And he's saying the same stuff. I just try to be flat. Just try to be flat. Success leaves clues. I just try to be flat. Be flat. Create backspin. Create backspin. When you're swinging up and you get in and out of the zone so fast, you got one place to hit the ball. You got one spot, you got one velocity. If that doesn't happen, you're screwed. Okay? If we're launching our swing from here, basically keeping our hands and our shoulders as connected as possible. As connected as possible. Get on plane, stay on plane. Okay? My man, teacher man, I still don't know what the hell that is. I don't know. I hurt my elbow. I can't do that. Okay, but I've gone from a guy, and granted, this is a real versus feel thing. Okay? Gabe Jafelson. Okay? One of his guys I got. And some bitch runs like the wind blows. And I guarantee he didn't learn that from that man right there. Okay? So I literally have to tell Gabe, hey Gabe, try to swing like this. Just to try to meet in the middle. And this kid, you didn't tell me how strong this kid was. Pound for pound, holy mackerel. Even with his horse crap swing playing, he went Oppo Taco in a Fall World Series game this year. We're talking about a true freshman. He's about this big, he's built. But he's very strong. He's one of those guys that we literally have to give a different mindset to. Okay, I'm not telling him to swing down, but I have to tell him, hey, we're going to think about burying the knob. Really think about the barrel coming by your face, okay, so we can somehow meet in the middle. Okay, what's cool is the hinge that we've been doing, that's actually helping his swing flatten out. It really is. Okay, but the bottom line, when it comes to the swing, just swing level. Really cool experience a few weeks ago. Chris Colabello, you guys remember Chris? Had a really good 4 or 5 year run with the Blue Jays, Twins and Blue Jays. He didn't get drafted out of college, went to Assumption. It's like a D2 or D3 school up north. Plays indie ball for like 7 years. You guys got to remember, he was hitting behind Donaldson and Bautista in that lineup. He ended up getting popped for a PED thing, and quite honestly, it was all BS. You can read up on that. But anyways, got to meet Chris, the Politero app. You guys seen that at all? Okay, yeah, it works in conjunction with Hit Tracks. Well, he came down and did a little seminar thing at the indoor facility we use. Got to talk to him a little bit. He was working with some of our kids in there, my son being one of them, who's a 5th-year senior for us. Everything, and Chris just, he's in blue jeans. He looks like he just got out of the bar, and, he gets in there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and bam, bam, everything up the middle the other way. And he doesn't even play anymore. I think he plays some men's league stuff. Everything up the middle the other way, up the middle the other way, up the middle the other way. And then I actually had a recruit there who got in there and swung, and he was hitting everything up the middle the other way. And Chris said, hey, why are you hitting everything up the middle the other way? He said, because that's what my hitting instructor tells me to do. He goes, well, who's your hitting instructor? He says, Mickey Brantley, which happens to be Michael Brantley's dad. So it's a pro thing, okay? Again, success leaves clues. Hit the ball up the middle the other way. The barrel will get out there. That's what the kids don't understand. Like it's like against their manhood to hit the ball the other way. Okay, it's about controlling the barrel, the outer half of the plate. Why are 75% of the pitches on the outside part of the plate in high school and above? It really is. 75% of the pitches you see on the outside part of the plate. That's probably not from the fact that guys really hit the ball on the outside part of the plate really well. It's probably because we struggle with it. Why? Because our front side outruns our barrel, we get really angled, and it's tough to handle that pitch. Okay? So, let's work on controlling the barrel, hitting the ball up the middle the other way, and even if it's an inner half pitch, that we're having to fire our hands inside and get it that way. Pulling is the easiest thing that can be done, especially a 14 hopper to the shortstop, rolled over. That's real easy to do. Okay? If we're a tick late because we're firing our hands inside the ball, we foul the ball off. Okay, think about this. Foul the ball off versus get the head out too early and ground out to short. Okay, the first one, the count is 0-1. The second one, you're 0-4-1. You're out. Okay, this is all a developed mindset in practice. Again, they think it's against their manhood to hit the ball the other way. I'm trying to hit bombs in the cage. I don't care how long a kid hits, he's never going to, unless it's just a faulty cage, you're never actually going to hit a ball out of the cage. You're not going to hit a cage home. Focus, focus, focus. If you got big league after big league, think about this. MLB Network, when they do the 30 clubs in 30 days, okay? So they go to Atlanta, okay? They say, hey, Freddie, what's your lead-up drill? What's your lead-up drills for the day? Or, hey, Joey Votto, what's your lead-up drills for the day? Every single big leaguer they actually focus on does the same exact thing. Freddie, for instance, he goes, well, I'm thinking about hitting line drives over the shortstop. Line drives, and if that's not enough, I go line drives over the third baseman. And if that's not enough, I think about line drives over the third base coach. Because the head's going to get out. The head is going to get out. Promise you. I can talk all day long about the swing, but the bottom line is just teach your kids to get on playing and stay on playing. Okay? And teach off of their feels and reels, if you will. Teach off of those. Not off yours, off of theirs. That's important. And as I close today, I've got a little PSA. Ask your kids how they're doing. Okay? And I don't mean, how's your elbow? How's your hamstring today? How's your shoulder? Ask your kids how they're doing. The kids these days deal with so much crap that we didn't have to deal with. Say a kid shows up, high energy kid, big teammate, and you see him at practice and he's dragging. And maybe he screws up a bunt defense or something like that. He's a great teammate, but you see him snapping at his teammates. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Now, 10 years ago, my first reaction is jump his ass. He just screwed up a bunt defense, jump his ass. Guys, it's different now. Find out if he's okay. How are things at home? What's going on?